What is up? What is going on, everybody? I am back with the Mariners post-game video. I'm hoping the sound is a little bit better for this video than it has been in some of the past ones. I've noticed when I'm in this room, it tends to get kind of a weird echo in the background. I'm hoping that's better. If not, I do apologize. So first and foremost, if you're enjoying my recaps, hit the like button, hit the sub button. If you aren't subbed, helps me out tremendously. And then last thing I'll say before I get to the game, I once again apologize for not having the series preview up. It was just ended up having a long day of work, and then took the kids to the movies and bowling yesterday, which is awesome, and just wasn't able to get it up. So it happens. I'm still going to try and do them. I'm not even going to make promises anymore on them. When I can, I'll do them. If I can't, I can't. A nice win for the Mariners tonight. A very nice, clean win. Nothing too, just a clean W for this team. A W that they needed. Kind of erase the Milwaukee series a little bit, get that 3-game losing streak out of their system. And just a fairly, I don't want to say an easy win because it was 2-2 going into the bottom of the 6th, but just a solid, clean win. One of those games that you won't remember, in August, September, but hopefully it's a win to kind of springboard the team to maybe get them back going a little bit. Mariners beat the Cardinals today 5-2. They improved to 9-11. Let's go through. I'll talk about a few things, and we'll break it down. First of all, let's start with the pitching staff. George Kirby, phenomenal again. 6 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned, no walks yet again, 5 strikeouts. I don't know, has Kirby walked anybody this season? I'm going to check. I don't know if I can have his whole numbers here. Let's see. Can I get... I don't think this is all of his starts. Let's see here. He's got 1 walk this season. So Kirby again with outstanding command. And the command was good today. It wasn't just throwing strikes. It was quality strikes from George Kirby. Against a really tough Cardinals lineup, you've got Arenado, Burleson's a good hitter, Paul Goldschmidt, obviously, Contreras. Who else do we have? Jordan Walker, phenomenal. Young phenom, great hitter. Edmund, Donovan's a good hitter. Gorman has been fantastic this season. So a really good lineup. And George Kirby made them look pretty average today, in my opinion. And that's not a knock on the Cardinals. I think it just shows how good George Kirby was. Even the 2 runs he gave up, Jordan Walker certainly stung that ball, the RBI double that occurred in the 2nd inning. And I don't want to blame Teoscar Hernandez for not catching that ball. It would have been a tough catch, but it is a ball that I think maybe like a Jared Kelenic catches. Now, Kelenic was in left tonight. I'm not trying to say he should be in right or anything like that. But I do think it was a catchable ball as much as it was well hit. And I think Teo gave it a good effort. I do think an elite defender makes that catch. So it wasn't far off from being 6 shutout innings from Kirby. Walker hit that ball hard. I mean, I'm not trying to say Kirby didn't necessarily deserve to give up those runs, but it was close. It was close to being 6 shutout innings. Either way, phenomenal start from Kirby. His ERA is down to 3.57. Talked about it in my season preview. I think George Kirby is a sneaky sleeper Cy Young candidate. He is just, I think, what was the stat tonight they had in the Mariners broadcast for the fewest amount of walks ever for a pitcher that got to their first 150 strikeouts in their career. So he's got over 150 career strikeouts and only 23 career walks. So when that command's on, and you saw the movement, the slider was sharp, that fastball has that tailing movement as well. Really that tailing in movement a lot from Kirby. He was phenomenal. And with Robbie Ray out, they need someone to step up and be that number 2 behind Castillo. Logan Gilbert's great, but if Kirby and Gilbert can just even take another step in their game, it's going to help mitigate the Ray injury. So Kirby was great. Bullpen was phenomenal. Trevor Gott had, I don't even think there was any stress in the last 3 innings with the bullpen. Gott had an easy 1-2-3 inning. He threw a total of 7 pitches. Justin Topa continues to be phenomenal. A shutout 8th inning with 2 strikeouts. Again, really stepping up, and I know I talk about it every video, but it's why bullpen depth is so important. It's why teams still acquire bullpen depth at the deadline, even if they have a good pen. We thought the Mariners' pen was going to have no issues this year. We knew how it was going to play out. Sewald, Castillo, Munoz, Brash, all these guys. Munoz will be back. Brash is still really good. He's just been a little unlucky. But how about Justin Topa coming up a couple weeks ago, and he's already kind of the eighth inning guy. Do I think that he's as good as Munoz? No. But I do think Justin Topa is going to stick on this roster and is going to help this team. You can never have enough bullpen depth. Gabe Spires, the other one, we've seen what he's done this season. So a nice, a low-key acquisition the Mariners made in January to trade for him, and it's paying off. Topa's been phenomenal. And even his walks, I know he has like 4 walks. I think 2 of them are intentional. Not saying that doesn't count. It's still a walk, but I think his numbers are maybe even better than they look for Justin Topa. And then a real nice, easy ninth inning for Paul Sewald with a tough part of the order with Burleson, Goldschmidt, and Arenado. He took him down 1-2-3, so that's a great finish. And J.P. Crawford with a tremendous defensive play to end the game. So the defense was good. Kelenic made some nice catches. No errors tonight as far as I know. Nope, no errors for the team. So a well-pitched game all around. And only giving up 3 hits to a really, really solid lineup. But I want to say, were those 3 hits all in one inning? Burleson, I know Arenado's hit, Walker's were in the same inning, weren't they? There was a hit by pitch. Yeah, because Contreras was hit by pitch. They were not all in the same inning. Okay. But a tremendously well played defensive game for the Mariners in terms of pitching and defense. To the lineup, Mariners scored 5 runs on 6 hits. Wasn't the greatest offensive outburst of all time, but again, an efficient game for the offense. That's what I said. It's really just well played all around. The pitching was good and the offense was good. It wasn't a game where, as much as I love the 1-0 games, you'd like to see more offense, and it wasn't a 13-10 win where the pitching struggled. All around, a well-played game. Honestly, you might make a case as one of the more well-played games the team has played all season, all around. I'm trying to think of another one. Maybe the game in Chicago, the 3rd game that they won, and then maybe the 2nd game against the Rockies would be up there. But I think against a quality opponent like the Cardinals, I would maybe rank this as the best game, all-around team game they've played all season. Julio was 1 for 3 with a bloop single and a walk. Again, just quietly for Julio on base twice. Nothing amazing. I will talk about in the 6th inning, he had a really heads-up base running play that I'll talk about. Let me go through the box score first. Ty France is probably the only guy that I'd say had a game. He was 0 for 4, grounded into 2 double plays, and just had some not very good at-bats. Not worried or anything, just not a very good game from Ty. Gino was 0 for 3 with the walk. He did sting the ball in his last at-bat. I will say, ever since Gino got that shot off the elbow that sounded like it broke bones in it against Milwaukee, he has looked a little tough at the plate, so I do wonder if he's nursing that a little bit and kind of playing through it for the team. Could be dead wrong on that, but just my thought on that. Teoscar Hernandez, 2 for 3. He had a big game. Obviously, the home run. Also had a walk and a double as well. So reached base 4 times because he reached base on a strikeout, which again I'll talk about. Again, that power from Teoscar is just so sneaky. Didn't look like he got all of it off the bat against Mats, but it just carried out into dead center. So starting to come along. The batting average up to 256. 4 home runs now. Teoscar Hernandez is starting to get hot, and that's really important for this team. A.J. Pollock, 1 for 4 with 2 RBIs. Had the RBI double, which really broke this game open for the Mariners in the 6th and gave them a 4-2 lead before Kelenic's sac fly. Good to see us against the righty. Pollock still struggling against lefties, which you got him to hit lefties, but whatever. We'll take it. A DH for the Mariners did something productive. I am not going to be mad about that. Kelenic, 1 for 3, 2 RBIs. Had a base hit single in the 2nd. The first hit that Steven Matz has given up to a lefty all year. It was a broken bat single. It wasn't like Kelenic, mashed it. But again, the first hit a lefty's got off Matz all season. And then, the sac fly, the sac fly was a real nice at-bat from Jared Kelenic. A.J. Pollock hits the double. It's 4-2. 2nd and 3rd, 1 out. He doesn't try to do too much. He gets that run home. I've said the Mariners that's been kind of a struggle for them this year. And I'm not much of a situational hitting guy. It's like, just get hits. Every team thinks their team is the worst at fundamentals. At the end of the day, the good teams are good and the bad teams are bad no matter what. But it's good to see the situational hitting there for the Mariners and a nice at-bat just to get that extra run home. Because 2-run lead, a little bloop and a blast tie game. 3 runs, you definitely feel a little bit more comfortable. It's a nice game from Kelenic. Murphy continues to struggle 0 for 3. He did hit a couple balls hard today, had one to right field, kind of his power alley. I'm hoping he's close to getting going, but another rough day for him. Caballero 1 for 3 with a base hit. A couple nice at-bats. At this point, yeah, he should be platooning with Colton Wong. And unfortunately for the Mariners, some potentially bad news. Dylan Moore, rehab assignment has been put on hold. He's going to go see a specialist. I think it was the oblique that was the original injury, but now they're thinking maybe just a core injury in general. Anytime your rehab assignment gets paused and you're going to see a specialist, that's scary to hear. And even if it is something that like, okay, he's going to have to start the rehab assignment over, I never want to predict that someone's out for a season. I don't like that. I don't know. But right now, I say I'm not going to predict it. I don't know. I don't know if we're going to see Dylan Moore this season. I get worried when guys are going to see specialists after trying to come back and it's not working. So all of a sudden, a guy like Jose Caballero might play a little more pivotal of a role for this team. And they could really use getting Sam Haggerty back as well. I think they're talking about tomorrow coming back. It'll be interesting what the roster move is with Haggerty come back, because I don't think they're going to send down Caballero. He's been great. He's in 182, but he's been a nice little spark plug. He's had some good at-bats. He's been a grinder. One of those guys you would call a grinder. DFAing Tommy LaStella would be the obvious move for Haggerty. They could send Cooper Hummel down too, just because LaStella doesn't have any options. You get rid of him, he's got to go for good. You might be saying, well, who cares? But sometimes teams look at it, Cooper Hummel's got options. We can keep LaStella, who truthfully has been better than Cooper Hummel batting. We can keep Hummel, option him, and keep LaStella. So that might be the move as well. We'll see what ends up happening. I think Caballero sticks around, and we'll see what happens with the Dylan Moore injury. Caballero might all of a sudden become a little bit more important of a player for this team this season. And J.P. Crawford 0 for 2, had a nice walk in the 8th, and that's when Ty France ended up grounding into one of the double plays. I want to talk about the 6th inning a little bit. So what happened in the 6th inning, if I can remember, is Julio walked, Ty France popped up, I think Gino walked. Then the new pitcher was, who was it for the Cardinals? Because Matz came out and Verhagen came in and throws a wild pitch. So Julio and Gino advance. And then Teoscar Hernandez ends up striking out. Now first base is vacant, so he's allowed to go there on a strike 3 if it's a pass ball. Julio's on third base. Julio does a great job. The ball gets past Contreras. Julio comes about halfway down the base path, threatening to come home on that. The pitcher Verhagen covers. Contreras throws it home. It allows Teoscar Hernandez to reach first base. Now, maybe the Cardinals messed that up. That kind of seemed to be what people were thinking. I actually think it was a really smart play by Julio. I think what Julio did is he got far enough down the line there that forced the Cardinals to either A, throw Teoscar out and risk Julio scoring there, and it was this point it's 2-2, so that's the go-ahead run, or we just cut down Julio and let Teo have the base. Now maybe they forgot about Teo being able to go to first. I don't know. It didn't look like that to me. It looked like Julio got close enough. They didn't want to risk Julio scoring there. And Teoscar was able to reach base, and then it allowed A.J. Pollock to hit the 2-run double and Kelenic the sac fly, and all 3 of those runs end up scoring. So that's what I was talking about with the Mariners. And even though it was a strikeout on a pitch that should have been a ball to Teoscar Hernandez, which that's not great, Teo gets a pass from the good day he had at the plate. But a heads-up play by Julio and Teoscar Hernandez as well on that to reach base, and then for Julio to know the situation enough to put the pressure on the Cardinals. So I thought that was a real nice play by Julio Rodriguez. Like I said, I thought the offense was fine today. I thought Matz was good. I do think, even though he only walked 2 and they were both in his last inning, I did think his command was a little off. Sometimes you can have bad command and not walk a lot of guys. But I thought some of his pitches looked like it wasn't close. Like the balls were balls. He did have the either the change or the curve that dropped down to righties that was pretty effective. He was solid. He struck out 7. I thought he was good tonight. But I also thought he looked hittable. And I thought the Mariners did a fine job against him. They got him out in the 6th inning. They ended up scoring 4 runs off of him in total. So they did a pretty good job against him overall. And, Matz is decent. He's kind of a middle to back end starter, probably more back end at this point, and with good stuff. A back end guy that is capable of some blow-ups, like last start he walked 5, but he's capable of solid starts, like how he looked early on tonight. And the Mariners did a good job against him. They were able to chase him in the 6th and get some runs off of him and claw away, getting down 2-0. They bounce back in the second. Kellenic gets that RBI single to make it 2-1. Teo hits the home run in the 4th. So not only do they get the big 6th inning, they do a nice job clawing their way back in it to allow themselves to get that big inning in the 6th. Nice win for the Mariners. Proved a 9-11, a chance to win the series tomorrow with Luis Castillo going. So you feel pretty good getting this one with Castillo on the mound tomorrow against Miles Michaelis. So hopefully they can do that and at least assure themselves a series win before Sunday and get this thing back to 500. So far a decent homestand. They're 4-3. It doesn't feel that way because that sweep to the Brewers. But again, if coming off the road trip where... What was last road trip? They finished off with the win against the Cubs. If you would have gone up to anybody and said, hey, 7 games into the homestand, Mariners going to be 4-3. Do you take it or no? You'd probably say, yeah. At this point in the season, just don't be cute, get the wins. And going back to that last Cubs game, they are 5-3 in their last 8. So it has been better. Get me to May 500 or within a game or two over. That's okay too. You can win some games and I'll be okay. Again, I say it every video. We still got the dog days of summer to come. It's a long season. Feels like it's been going on for a while, and we're only 18 games into it. So be patient. The Dylan Moore news is a little nerve-wracking. This team could really use a healthy Dylan Moore, but I don't know. Just got to hope Sam Haggerty gets back. Caballero's decent. And then you never know. No one's trading right now. It's just too early. But maybe getting to May and somebody like Oakland, Kansas City, Washington. I don't know if they have anybody like that. But maybe they've got someone that you can, an Aledmus Diaz from Oakland. I don't even know if he's been good this year. But someone like that maybe becomes available that you can go get if you're going to miss Dylan Moore for a significant period of time. Please hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. And thank you all for watching. I will see you guys tomorrow for the post-game recap. As always, have a great night and go M's. Peace.